Let the posture bring me back into a contemplative, meditative state. There is a resonance between assuming the posture and the quietening of the mind. The body is less restless. The mind settles into itself. Over time, the association of the posture with a contemplative mindset makes it such that whenever I want to calm down, all I have to do is assume the posture, and the rest is taken care of. Samam kaya shiro grivam, head, neck and back in a single straight line. This is held without moving. Dharayan achalam sthiraha, stable. Sukham sthiram asanam, the seat is again stable, comfortable. Not too comfortable as to promote sleep, and not uncomfortable, so uncomfortable that I keep wriggling all the time. Samprekshya nasikagram swam, says the Bhagavad Gita. Eyes are softly closed. The gaze is directed as though towards the tip of the nose. In other words, the eyeballs are not restless in the closed eyes, darting here and there. Dishascha anavalokayan. I am not interested in what is happening around me. Therefore, the eyes are closed and the gaze is directed forward, gently, softly. Pranapanau samau kritva nasabhyantara charinau, equalizing the breath, paying attention to the breath to ensure that the inhaling and exhaling are roughly of the same length. Watching the breath means also watching the body, the chest rising and falling in response to the inhalation and exhalation. The details of this posture are given in the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Hands clasped on the lap, fingers touching, gives stability. To the posture so that one can go deeper without the fear of falling down. Lord Krishna mentions one more important step in the meditation, sparshan bahyan bahihi kritva. I have to keep the external world outside. What does this really mean? If it is called the external world, it should already be outside. How do I keep what is outside outside? I visualize a range of mountains. In relation to these mountains, I find myself to be an appreciative, non-demanding, accommodative, contented person. In other words, I don't want the mountains to be different from what they are. This is how mountain is. I'm happy with however the mountains are. Next, I visualize a flowing river. Again, what obtains in me is a happy person, a person without agenda, non-demanding, accepting, appreciative, objective, and contented. Can I retain this when I am confronted by people instead of nature? Perhaps yes, as long as one does not have biases based on gender, color of skin, nationality, etc. How about people close to me? I visualize the mother. This is how she was, she is, in my perception. Immediately, I can see that there is a difference between the mountain and the mother. Mountain, outside. Mother, outside as well as internalized, inside, in the form of perhaps care, worry, unrequited expectations. I take the time to grant the mother the freedom to be just like the mountain, however she is, however she was. I allow her to be. Om Namaha, Om Namaha, Om Namaha, Om. The extent I am able to give the mother the freedom to be however she was or is the extent to which I am free from the internal mother in the form of unmet expectations, fears, sorrow, etc. Father. Visualizing the Father, I acknowledge this is how He was, He is in my perception. The words "in my perception" give me objectivity. When I understand I'm not being objective, I am in a way being objective. This is how Father was, is. I grant him the freedom to be however he wanted to be, however he wants to be. If I am able to do this, and the extent to which I am able to do this, I am free of the expectation that he should have been different. He should be different. To whatever regrets that remain with regard to the primary caregivers, I say Namaha. Surrender, leading to acceptance. Acceptance of my background. Matrudevo bhava, Pitrudevo bhava. The Upanishad says, may you be the one for whom the mother and the father are non-separate from Ishvara. This means I see my parentage, my background, a product of my own karma given to me by Bhagavan. That I have or I have had these parents not accidental, not a flaw. When I recognize this, I grow. From a complaining person, I become an accepting person who understands the inevitability of one's parentage. parents, non-separate from Ishvara. The order of my birth, Ishvara. My wants, my needs, my fears, my tears in relation to the parents, all my emotions, Ishvara. Om Namaha, Om Namaha, Om Namaha, Om. In the same way, my body is also gift of Ishvara. I watch the body as though I am seated in front of a mirror, full-length mirror. So intricate, all the layers from skin to the bones, perfectly crafted. The body still runs with very little maintenance, gift of Bhagavan, order of Ishvara. Even in this order, if something does not function, that too is Ishvara. The order is big enough to include disorder. Then I go to observe the mind. Again, Ishvara. Everywhere there is Ishvara. Mind is Ishvara. This is how the mind is. Even though I may not be at peace with my own anger, my own fears, still Ishvara. How to see the emotions as Bhagavan? When I look upon my anger dispassionately, I see that it is in response to a certain situation which is not to my liking. Given this situation, anger comes, no matter who it is. Understanding this, I see now it is not my anger. It is part of Ishvara's order. Sadness likewise has a cause, part of Ishvara's order. Given these circumstances, tears come. It's an order. Therefore, there is no such thing as my sadness. my sorrow, my anger, my fears, just part of a vast order. Who am I in relation to this order? I am conscious being. In fact, I am awareness itself, aware of myself, aware of my emotions. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Take away the smallness of this mind, the pettiness of my own emotions, the fears, tears, self-pity. Take them away. Let me have focus, Shanti. Let me not be disturbed or in turn disturb others with my emotions. Let me give all these emotions back to you from where they have come and instead appreciate them as part of your order. Let me be free to pursue my truth. I can see that the mind is quieter, more tranquil, more present. I can acknowledge this to myself if this is true. I am comfortable being who I am. that I have this background, okay. That I have this mind, okay. That I have this body, okay. Why okay? Because it does not define me. I am consciousness, awareness, free of all afflictions. Free, whole, full, limitless. Let me be able to see that. Let me be able to be that. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.